Hey, this is Will. So in this episode, I'm going to tell you how to start a blog, how to start blogging business and make money. I do see a lot, actually most of the people starting a blogging business, a blog in a wrong way and making a lot of mistakes. And basically from the very get-go, they are most likely not going to succeed. And believe me, I've been there as well. I started out my first blog, I think it was 2011, and I made pretty much every mistake in the book. So in this video, I'm going to tell you some of the things that you really need to understand that a lot of other people don't talk about when they talk about blogging. They just tell you the basic stuff of, get a hosting and that is it. I'm going to try and explain a little bit more so you have a better understanding how exactly you should approach blogging. And by the way, all of the tools, all of the different softwares that I recommend, I will leave everything in the description. I do have some special discounts and bonuses, and any other resources I think that might be useful for you, I will leave everything in the description, so definitely check it out. Also, make sure to check out my main channel for some very useful content and my Instagram for quick and actionable growth hacks. And every single week I give out one of my courses completely for free. So if you're listening to this as a podcast, just take the title, put it on YouTube, find the video, make sure to smash the thumbs up button and leave a comment to enter the competition. Now let's get into it. So the first thing where I see most of the people fail, or vast majority of the people, is not being able to actually monetize your blog. A lot of people just start writing about something and that they're really, really passionate about maybe, which is great, but at the same time, you're not going to honestly make enough money from just ads. I know some people like to say that, yeah, just start blogging, you put on ads, it's very, very simple, but honestly, you will need hundreds of thousands of visits to make any good income from ads. So, and that's going to take you, depending how you're approaching this, that is going to take you some time to do that if you do everything right. So really, when you are choosing what kind of niche are you going to go for, the first thing you have to keep in mind while doing that is, what are the monetization opportunities? So can you perhaps create some sort of digital product that you are going to sell to your audience that might be helpful for them? Check out my main channel, by the way, for that, because in there I explain a lot how to start selling digital products. Can you maybe find some affiliate programs? And again, there are people that talk about Amazon affiliate and making money from that, and honestly, you can make, I don't know why it irritates me so much, but honestly, you can make some money from that, but the commissions are so low that you will need thousands and thousands of affiliate sales every single month to make any sustainable income. And if you really want to make a lot of money from blogging, you're not really going to do that with Amazon. Let's be honest here. So you need to find, or well, check before you decide on a niche if there are some affiliate programs that pay you higher commission rates that you can actually make sustainable income from. Also, when it comes to, let's say, sponsorships, are there any companies that you can partnership with that you would actually like to work with and that could sponsor your blog? Maybe also you can create some sort of service. So depending on your niche, this is not really possible for every single niche, but for some niches, you might be able to sell some kind of service, and that might be one of your monetization opportunities. Perhaps you can create your physical products or print on demand or something like that. So you need to take all of these things into consideration when choosing a niche. It's great that you are passionate about something, but at the same time, if you're not going to be able to actually make money from that, then this is not going to be sustainable and it's just going to be a hobby, and eventually you're going to run out of time to do this and you're not going to be able to still work on your blog. So I know that some people might not, be vastly interested in making money per se. They want to just start blogging, but honestly, you need to make money. You need to create a business to make it sustainable. So I'm not going to go too deep into how exactly do you find a good niche. I have actually made another video how you find a good niche, so I will link that. Definitely check that out. I go in depth, but basically you obviously want to find some niche that has very passionate audience, and you want to narrow down as much as possible to find the sub niches that have the most passionate people and that don't have as much of competition, because there are basically, I would say, two different ways how you can approach blogging. So the first way is basically optimizing for search engine optimization. So that means when you write your blog posts, you need to optimize the keywords that you want to rank for. When someone goes to Google and they search for a specific topic, you want your article to rank as high as possible, and that's how you are going to drive traffic to your blog. So the thing with this is that it does take quite some time to start ranking, especially with new blogs, and you do need to create really good pieces of content, and there are a lot of different factors that come into play here. So even if you have the best piece of content that you have created, there are also such things as backlinks. So basically other websites giving a link, giving some link juice to your blog, also your overall domain authority. So this is one of those things what I talked about, the competition. When you're choosing a niche, and that's why you want to sort of go down in the different sub niches, because let's say if you have like a really big niche like fitness, there are already websites that have insane domain authority within that big niche. So no way you are going to compete. Whatever articles you are going to publish, no matter how good they are, you're not going to outrank these websites that have built their authority for the last 10, 20 years. But let's say if you go into some kind of sub niche, and I don't know what even is a good sub niche that's not as competitive. Let's say something like CrossFit, though there might be some websites, I honestly don't know. There might be some websites that are already huge on CrossFit, but let's imagine there aren't any. So you might have an actual opportunity to rank your article. So this is something that you really need to take into consideration, especially when it comes to blogging. Another way that you can approach blogging is basically by just driving traffic through different mediums to your blog. So you're not necessarily going for search engine optimization, but a good example of this would be something like Pinterest. So there are actually a lot of blogs that do get good amount of traffic every single month, and they don't do any SEO. They only use Pinterest, and there are a lot of different ways how you can go about it, and you obviously will need to put in quite a bit of work on Pinterest as well to be able to do that. But that is another option, and that is an option as well that is a little bit quicker, because with Google SEO, it's going to take you some time, especially as I said, if it is a completely new blog, it's going to take you some months to actually start ranking for certain articles, unless you find something that has literally no competition. But most of the time it's going to take you some time, whereas with something like Pinterest, you can actually start driving traffic to your blog very quick. And it doesn't have to be just Pinterest. You can use other ways as well. You can even use, let's say, something like Instagram or YouTube, all of these different social media platforms. You can actually just go out there and contact a bunch of different websites and just get your blog featured or submit your blog to different newsletters or different media outlets, things like that. So there are a lot of different things how you can promote your blog, and at the end of the day, you can also do both of these, and this is probably what I would advise for most of the people as well. If you're going to take blogging seriously, I would say that do really the combination of both. Do you optimize for search engine optimization, because in the long run it can work really well. If you manage to gather a lot of backlinks, you manage to increase your domain authority, it can benefit you a lot. The next thing is, how do you actually start a blog? What are the best platforms, the best tools, and things like that? So first of all, the best platform, and I don't even know if there is any debate about this. I do see some people actually, yeah, some people do start out blogs on all of these different new tools, but really, I would say WordPress is the best option just because most of the blogs out there are built out on WordPress, and it is made for blogging basically, well, for websites and blogging, and it does have really good functionalities in terms of how you exactly you want to, for example, to structure your blog posts to look like, how if you want to have the different authors, all of these inner systems. You have a lot of plugins, so this is kind of important thing as well. Depending how exactly you will want to market your blog, you can use a lot of different plugins. For example, let's say if you want automatic linking between the different blog posts, if let's say you want to automatically have your affiliate links inserted on all of your different blog posts, all of these different tools, a lot of them, you might have some, by the way, with other platforms. I know you have your Wix, you have your Squarespace, you have all of these different platforms. And I'm not saying they don't have any tools, but I'm saying that I think WordPress really has the most. And when it comes to actual customization as well of your blog, how it just looks like, there are some themes that you can get that will allow you to customize as much as you want. They are just absolutely amazing. And there are some free options as well. And I know that a lot of people, when they start blogging, they don't want to spend any money. And believe me, I also was trying, first when I started out, I was still a student, so I working all these part-time jobs. So I was in the same case, didn't want to spend any money if possible. But really, the free blogs, you're not really going to get anywhere with that. Let's be honest, straight up, you are not going to get anywhere. You're not going to build out a good blog and make money from it. And when it comes to WordPress as well, especially I would say compared to some of the other solutions, WordPress is actually very cheap. You can actually get hosting for as cheap as $4 per month. And if you want to make money, you need to invest some money. And this is actually very, very low investment compared to all of the other different business ventures that you might pursue. Another big thing that I most definitely recommend to do is to get a good WordPress theme. And there are free themes that you can use, and there are some free theme builders and all of that. But honestly, if you get a good theme, and I'll leave a link for the one that I recommend that I use myself on all of my websites, it makes a massive, massive difference because first of all, you can customize as much as you want. You can really have a lot of control of how your blog is going to look like. And on top of that, it just saves you a ton of time. And that's kind of the thing, like, okay, if you use free tools or whatever, you might be able to kind of figure out and make sort of your blog look like how you want it, but you're going to spend so much time that it's really not worth spending all of that time. Instead, I think it's worth better to just invest a little bit of money and that is it. And by the way, I might have a way how you can get this theme for free. So do check out the links in the description. Depending on when you're listening to this or watching this, I don't know whether it's still going to be a thing or not, but check out the description. You might get the professional theme completed for free. Another thing that is very important and I see a lot of people making mistake with is actually figuring out how they're going to promote their blog. Because as I said, yes, technically you can just write articles, optimize them for a search engine, and you might start ranking, but that is going to take some time. And I would really, really suggest you to take additional steps to make sure that your blog is getting more traffic and is getting more authority and all of these kind of different things. So this is even part of what you need to think about before you actually even decide on your niche. So as you are choosing the niche that you are going to write about, you also need to think, what are the different ways how I can promote my blog. So for example, as I mentioned, I absolutely love Pinterest for blogging especially. And you have to have a look. Is it popular within your niche? So for example, let's say if we take something like you're going to be blogging about tech, right? If you're blogging about tech, I would say on Pinterest you can get traffic for almost anything, but honestly it's probably going to be quite hard, or you're not going to get an insane amount of traffic for something like tech because there isn't quite the audience on Pinterest for that. But if you are, let's say, blogging about something like yoga, then you can get a ton and a ton of traffic for Pinterest. You can get, I've seen some blogs getting insane numbers. So this is something you need to think about. You need to decide what methods are you going to actually use. And one thing that I mentioned that is very important is the link juice. So if you have other people, other websites linking to your blog, that is going to basically show Google that your blog is actually sort of an authority figure, and they are going to help to rank your articles higher. So this is sort of a little bit of a research that you need to do as well before even choosing your niche. You need to see, are there any other niches that I can send them an email and basically ask them to link to my blog. There are so many different ways, so I'm not going to cover all of these different ways, but basically you really want to look into marketing and decide from all of these different marketing methods which one do you think you are actually going to pursue and whether they work for the niche that you are looking into. Aside from that, one thing that is also insanely important when it comes to blogging specifically is to have a good email list, and you need to start that out right away from the beginning. That is really going to be sort of one of the main things that is going to help you to succeed and to generate revenue. So what you want to do on your blog, you can obviously just have some sort of like a simple opt-in that you collect basically your audience emails for a newsletter. But let's be honest here, whoever really signs up for those just newsletter opt-ins, unless you're providing some insane value. So really what you want to do is you want to give out some kind of lead magnet, and a lead magnet is basically just a freebie, something that is useful to your audience. And a little bit of a self plug, I do have lead magnet templates that I sell that are basically Canva templates. So it's all of these different ebook designs on Canva, all the different pages. So you just need to change up the text, you just need to change up the images, change up the colors to your brand, and basically you can create a lead magnet in just a couple of hours with these templates. And I'm not saying that you necessarily need to buy these. I'm just saying that this as example that doesn't even take that much time to actually create a lead magnet, and you can create one from scratch if you want with Canva as well. That might take you quite a bit more time, but you can definitely do it if you want, if you don't want to invest any money, which I do suggest because you're trading your time for money. But you definitely need to create some kind of lead magnet that you are going to give out to your audience, and in exchange they are going to give their email address to you. And then basically you need to sign up for an email marketing software, and there are a lot of different ones. Again, I will leave some links of the best ones that I recommend. I've actually made some videos on my main YouTube channel where I review all of them in depth, and I've tried out all of them and done extensive research. But there are some that if you don't want to invest any money, you can actually start out for free. Don't use maybe MailChimp because that's the most popular one, but it's definitely not the best one. There are better free options. And if you want some more advanced ones, there are some that you'll need to pay for, but they do have very advanced features. But the beautiful thing here is that once you start building out your list, whenever you publish a new blog post, you will have an audience now that you can send out this blog post to directly, and you will get all of these eyes on your blog post right away. And you can also create automations, which basically means that you can set up a certain emails coming out automatically, and you can have a lot of different triggers. So let's say someone signs up for your email list, and then they will automatically get that freebie, that lead magnet delivered to them. So you don't need to do anything manually. And after that, you can send them out different emails, and based on their actions, if let's say they opened one email, or they clicked on the article, or they didn't click on the article, whatever it was, then they can get another email, or they can get a different subject line, or you can resend some emails. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but the beautiful thing about this is, and this is why I want to emphasize that, especially for blogging, because you are creating content and you need to put that content into your emails. And once you set up your email automation, it's basically just one setup, and that is it. And then you can have all these automations coming out automatically without you needing to do anything. One more thing I want to say, because I know that a lot of people, and I had some friends as well, that are, let's say, not very tech savvy, and they don't really know, or they're a little bit afraid to start blogging, because WordPress can be maybe a little bit complicated if you're starting out for the first time. I would say don't worry, there are some blog setups, some services that can do this very cheaply for you. Again, I will try to leave some useful recommendations for that, but you can definitely get someone to set it up for you pretty easily. And honestly, it doesn't have to be perfect. You really need to just start out, and more than the looks, I would say, of your blog, you need to actually focus on the marketing, on the traffic, and on your monetization. And another thing as well that I would advise a lot of people to do, so obviously if you are very passionate about some niche and you want to write about it, then that is great. But also it does take quite a bit of time to produce all of the content. So you can also outsource these things. And again, I will leave some links. You can find some writers that you would be surprised how cheap they really are, and you can get these articles written for a very, very cheap price. And obviously the more articles you have, the higher chance is you're going to rank and drive more traffic, and so on and so forth. And running a blog just by yourself and producing a ton of articles honestly is a lot and a lot of work. One thing I also want to mention is, when it comes to actual monetization, something that I would suggest you to look into, and I have made some other content on this podcast, this YouTube channel, about creating different sales funnels. This is one of the things that is also going to help you out to have a profitable and successful blog. As I kind of already touched a little bit on, you have the different marketing strategies. Then you give out someone a lead magnet, then through that lead magnet you get them on your email list. And then once they are on your email list, again, this depends how exactly you are monetizing, but basically you can create a monetization strategy where you are, let's say you're doing some affiliate marketing. So you basically have certain emails that you're sending out that you know are going to generate you revenue from affiliate marketing. You're sending out certain emails that are going to warm up your audience, and you're going to prepare them for a sale. And then eventually you have this call to action when you are actually selling something. And when it comes, if you decide, I would suggest really, if you're doing blogging, having digital products, I think is the best way to monetize your blog. So if you create some digital products, or get someone even to create those digital products for you, then eventually, throughout this sort of funnel, you can sell those digital products to your audiences. And there are a lot of different ways how you can do this. You can also incorporate ads, so you can retarget people. You can also have different things within your website that kind of put people into different funnels and things like that. There are some email automations I mentioned. You can have different triggers. If someone visits a specific page on your blog post, you can send out certain emails. So you can really go very advanced. But the point here is that I want to make is that look into how to create a sales funnel that is going to help you out a lot, because I know that at the beginning, especially if you don't have a lot of traffic, it's going to be difficult to start making money, and this can help you out a lot. So I hope you found this useful. Hopefully it makes a little bit more sense and you know what to look into before starting out blogging. As I said, I'm going to leave all of the tools that I personally recommend, and I have some discounts and bonuses for some of those, or actually maybe even most of those. So definitely check out all of the links. I'll leave some other resources that are useful as well. Make sure to check out my main YouTube channel for some very useful content, my Instagram for quick and actionable growth hacks. If you have any questions, and if you're listening to this as a podcast, take the title and put that on YouTube, find the video and leave your questions in the comments. I'll try to answer as many of those as I can. If you found this useful, make sure to smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, put on those notifications. Stay awesome, and I'll see you soon.